we can just get them caught up to speed, but I know we have a full agenda, so I'll turn it over to Rachel.
Okay, thank you, Talia. Welcome, everybody. This is our February 13th, 2026 regular Student Senate meeting. I'll get started with roll call. David?
Present.
Thank you. Cesar?
Present.
Thank you. Kate?
Present.
Thank you. Hector?
Present.
Thank you. I don't think I'm missing any other active student senators. I think I'm good. Yes. Okay. Is Giselle here yet? I think we were waiting for her, right? So I should skip over that for now.
I'm here.
Oh, are you here? Okay.
Yeah.
So next we can have Giselle Taylor do our guest presentation.
Great. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me all well? Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Giselle. I am coming from the Vice Mayor's office, so in Ward 1. You guys, as a PCC campus and the West Side are part of Ward 1. So I wanted to reach out because we have this program going on right now called Budget de la Gente. And what it is we have, this is our fourth cycle doing it, and we gather ideas from the community on how to spend $200,000 of our public funds. So we're reaching out to see if any of you or anybody that you might know would like to participate by submitting an idea for the chance to get a grant for $10,000. And how it works is you can submit there. I see that there's a link on the agenda. Is just going to that link and there's a submit button and you can apply for whatever it is that you guys are wanting to see in the community done. So whether it's beautification or a program that you guys want to implement, or some kind of like mural, or we've had anything from like having an affordable glasses program to having planting trees within the community, to having traffic circles done. So it's a really great part, a way to get involved with your ward offices and to kind of like scope out what you guys really want to see in the community, really be involved with, you guys are student senate, so like within local government. So that's one way that you can submit, and we would love to hear what you have to say, or submit as many ideas as you want. The thing about this program is that you probably have a pretty high chance of getting a grant comparatively to a lot of other programs because it's in such a smaller area. And we get like a smaller amount of submissions, so it's pretty likely. So if you wanted to either get together as a team to decide to submit an idea, the deadline to submit is going to be March 6th. But the form itself is really easy. It's just, what's your idea? We will help you along the process if your idea is selected to get partners. So yeah, that's a way that you could get involved. We also, if there's more involvement that you would like to come into the ward office with, we do have proposal captains that help us to refine these ideas in March. And if you are interested in becoming a proposal captain to make these ideas into like a ballot form so it's clear for the community to vote on, then reach out to me. We can talk about it as well. So are there any questions, or how are you guys feeling about, is this clear? Do you understand?
Hi, Sylvia. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Talea. I'm one of the Student Life Coordinators and Advisors for Student Senate. And I'm sure that we have a couple questions from our senators, but I was hoping you could speak to the grant distribution timeline and grant reporting. So if the Student Senate were to approach and submit a proposal, what that process might look like, and then our Pima community colleges, we have 5 different campus locations, right? And so they're all kind of spread out. And so you probably know what specific location is within Ward 1 right off the top of your mind. And so would that need to be considered in anything they submit as well?
Yeah. So off of that first, yes, so if you want to submit for an idea, it would have to be within the Ward 1 boundaries. And you can look on our website to see all of it. But really, it's a west side, a part of downtown, and south side. And you asked about, timeline, submission process, and then like the implementation process, right? So after, if your idea is chosen, you will know in May if it's chosen, and it's a voting process through the community. They decide on the ballot like which ideas go through. So by the end of May or beginning of June, you would know if your idea was selected. From there, we would reach out to you. And then really from there, you don't have like a specific timeline to implement the project. We ask it just like within a year, we want to be able to distribute the funds to you. So that's pretty much it. Like we would come up with a memorandum of understanding with you. We would partner with a nonprofit that can receive the funds because we can't just get like directly to like individual or anything. And then we would just help you to coordinate the fund. So we reach out to the City of Tucson Finance. They partner with the nonprofit, and then we distribute the funds so that you can use it for that project.
Excellent, thank you. And I think David had a question, but David, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I actually reside in Ward 1, and I think you already answered my question. I was just gonna ask if it's a RAF or if there's some sort of voting process. And is it gonna be the city council members, or is it gonna be Regina Romero or Vice Mayor Santa Cruz who's gonna vote on it, or how does that process work? I'm just curious.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. And that's why we call it Budget de la Gente. It's like, this is, we're the only ward actually in the state that does it right now. And it's really asking you guys what you want to implement in the community. So the council member doesn't vote on it. The council, mayor and council themselves don't vote on it. It's really the community. So we go and table, we go and flag out within our social media platforms or wherever, and we ask the community from this ballot, like, hey, what do you want to see implemented? So it's really just any kind of Ward 1 residents or students or people who work in Ward 1 that decide which projects go through.
Is this going to be in person or virtual? Because I attended something similar to this in the past, and it was in person.
What part?
It wasn't in Ward 1. It was by the east side. I don't know which ward that was in.
No, I mean, like, what part of the process do you?
Like where we go and discuss the ideas.
Oh, for like if you want to become a proposal captain?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it will be at either the ward office or the small business center, kind of in the downtown. So it'll be for 2 Saturdays in March, which we're probably going to have to move one of them. So it might be end of March.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, on that, so what we call them is accelerators, and it's really just like workshops that we do. They're about 3.5 hours long on 2 Saturdays. And we just go through and look at the ideas, kind of like refine and see if it's like feasible. And then do some kind of like really just workshopping, and then eventually that what our goal is to put the ballot for.
I did have a question for you, Giselle. I was wondering, is for actually like organizing and executing the project idea, is that the responsibility of like city employees, or is that partially your responsibility as the person who submitted the idea?
It could be either or. So ideally, it's the person who submits the idea. Say you want to put on an event, like for example, we have a sexual health event going on in Pueblo in April. And they're like the event organizers and stuff. And then we just kind of help them along the way to get in connection with like City of Tucson special events team and everything, and make sure they're all like good to go. If it's something like, say, Department of Transportation related, like bus stops or something, then it's really just like, okay, we received the idea, we know you want it, the people voted on it, but we're going to just reach out to DTM and they're going to implement it. So it's pretty hands off on that. So it really depends on the project, but ideally and most often it's going to be the people who submit the idea that implements it themselves, and we just like hold your hand through the process.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense. Did anyone else have any other questions? Okay, then thank you, Giselle. That was very helpful, and I'm hoping that we could maybe the Senate can organize something together, put together a project idea all together. But we'll see about that. We can talk about that next meeting. Thank you, Giselle. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you for your questions. You guys have a good Friday, all right?
Thank you.
So that's probably what happened, but
I was a little confused.
yeah, no worries. It happens.
It kicked me out.
Yeah, she probably hit end meeting for all when she left, but that's no worries. Do we have everyone back? Let's see.
Yeah, I think everyone's back on.
Okay, awesome.
So I wanted to I wanted to remind you guys that for this opportunity that she was speaking of, remember that it's more so an individual thing, not as a Student Senate collective. So you don't all have to do it. You all don't have to participate or come up with a proposal. If like two of you choose to do it and say like just work together on it, that's fine, but it's nothing related to Student Senate. So just keep that in mind. I just wanted you guys to see this opportunity today, hear from her. But do you guys understand that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just mainly because of.
Would it be possible for us to all submit like an idea together if we did agree on something? Would we be allowed to do that?
You certainly can. I would just caution and remind you of the timeline and the commitment of the grants. So, like she said, proposals would be identified in May/June, and then grants like this typically have a 1, even up to 3-year timeline of you're actually implementing the program, you're identifying the funds, and all of that work. And so I know we're all at different places in our Pima path. So yeah, I just wanted, if you were to submit as a group, I don't think it would be beneficial to submit as a Student Senate, because that's going to be difficult when we have new student senators come in, next academic year and so on.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, did anyone have any other questions about that or discussion? No, okay. Then we can move on to senator reports. Starting with mine, I don't have any individual updates as a Northwest senator. So we can move on to Kate.
Thanks, Rachel. So I tabled at the resource fair at Northwest with Talea. It went really well. We had a pretty good turnout, actually. Kind of a lot more than I expected, so that was awesome. And I did a lot of informing about like who we are as senators and what we do. And the students were really receptive to that. So, and they also, a lot of them participated, which I feel like sometimes with the resource fair, and some of the flyers, they don't, you know? So it was nice. Um, we have some upcoming events. The Valentine's Day week. So we have Notes of Appreciation, Crafts and Candy, Wellness Wednesday. There's a Pride Alliance social hangout on Thursday. And then we have the NAU transfer hours. Um, I spoke at the tabling, I spoke with a counselor from the Veterans Benefits who suggested that we get involved with SVA. And I spoke to Talia briefly about that. I still think that that would be a really great um, opportunity to kind of get the word out about Senate for those students with the um, Veterans Association. So that would be really cool. The Senator Project, I've reached out to the company that um, I initially submitted the proposal and that I had a contact with the company. I have sent them two follow-up emails along with the initial email, and I have heard nothing from them. I did reach out to a couple more meal prep companies, and I did hear back from a couple of other ones. There's one that is a nonprofit, so I would have to kind of discuss with Talia and Nikaylee what that would look like. But we're still getting the ball rolling on that. And I've been doing research on smart refrigerators that would make it accessible for students to be able to get the meals 24/7. So they would pay on their phone to directly to like a unit that's attached to the refrigerator, and we could integrate vouchers easily that way. There would be no shame, very discreet about, who is a financial aid student who gets discounted meals, that kind of thing. So I reached out to a couple of the companies who provide those fridges. Actually, University of Arizona has a couple of them, so I also reached out to their vendor team, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. And yeah, I think that's the biggest updates. When I have more, I will update you guys on that. I'll also be delegating out some of the like research and reaching out and things like that. I have a meeting, or I'm planning a meeting with Talia and Nikaylee. So once we get that and kind of discuss the nuances of this project, then I'll be reaching out to you guys individually to delegate tasks. So that's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Next, David.
And for me, we have Valentine's week at the downtown campus from the 9th up until the 12th. So up until yesterday, we had Valentine's week. We had at the Student Life and Tailgate Tuesday, which was on a Tuesday, the resource fair on the 10th, which I was able to participate, but not on behalf of the Student Senate, but there was tons of student turnout. It was a great success. Lots of students were getting involved into it, surprisingly. And Market on the Move, we had that yesterday. And in regards to the actual campus itself, we had outside of the CC building, if I remember correctly, there was like a divot in the pavers, and it was a tripping hazard. So we got that repaired finally, and that's about it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. Cesar, you can go next.
So yesterday I just tabled at the resource fair, but also I tabled earlier than that, and I tabled with JP and student life, and I forgot the club that I tabled with as well. But everything went well. So technically, my table was 3 tables in one. It was student life, student senate, and I forgot the club, but it's a hiking club. And there was a couple students that were interested in student senate, and then Hector got there, and then the club left, and then I was just wandering around for a couple. So yeah, that's on me.
Okay, thank you, Cesar. Hector, you can go next with your updates.
Okay. Lori, Stephanie, Mireya, the student advisors, Nikeli and Talia and I have been working on ideas to support ABEC students on a know-how-to guide to access more efficiently to all the different services, emails, D2L, Student Success Network, homework, classes, etc., that ABEC offers. We are planning to make a video and a booklet that is much needed for ABEC students. I don't know if maybe for regular college students also might work, on how to access all these services. I have experienced how teachers spend a lot of time after class explaining to students how to access all these different services. They spend a lot of time explaining to students how to do that. This will include a know-how-to guide to help students configure their Pima email account in the different email apps available so they can configure it on all their devices. Student Senate meeting in person. I encourage you guys, if we can do this. I still tell you guys in the regular business out here, in-person meetings are a lot more efficient than Google meetings. To me, it's very, very informal, especially, some microphone issues here and there, internet issues, you name it. I, I hope we can do something in order to meet in person more often. Met with Christine Gomez, student advisory board member, to see how can we, work together and offer ABEC student more things. So we had that meeting, went very well. I hope we can meet soon with her back again. Then another news, ABEC named Wendy Shader Black as one of the 2026 state advocates for adult fellows. As a SAAEF fellow, she will have the opportunity to strengthen those skills and to raise awareness about adult ed at the local, state, and national levels. That was told by Lori Christed Joseph, ABEC Assistant Vice Chancellor. I think that's very, very great news for ABEC students. I tabled with Cesar yesterday at the resource fair at Desert Vista. We had a good time. I was there for about an hour and a half, and there was not a lot of people, but you know, quite a few students interested in finding out about student life, the hiking and running club, and student senate. That's I also wanted to have Mireya Escamilla from ABEC share a little more information about the about Wendy Shader Black. Can you give us a little more about that, Mireya, please?
Sure, thank you, Hector. Just to let you know that administrators, teachers, and staff are part of the nationwide COAVE, Coalition on Adult Basic Education, and this SAAF is part of this organization, and that's the reason that Wendy had been selected to help us with raising awareness of adult education. So mainly that. But could I add something? This morning we met with the student advisory board, and I don't know if you, Talaya, you want to mention something about it, or do you want me to?
Sure, I can. I
Thank you.
can speak to that. Thank you so much, and good to see you again. Maria was on our student advisory board meeting earlier today, and we have a student advisory board, Christine Gomez, which Hector, sounds like you two are already familiar with each other, but we're hoping to have more collaboration with Student Senate and Student Advisory Board, in particular with creating that ABEC, how-to guide and resource. And we will also be having our student advisory board members participating in the planning for the spring town hall. And we'll share more about that. And then we'll also be inviting them to your regular meetings, the ones that are open to the public.
Okay, thank you, Hector. Next, we can go to advisory reports.
I think Nikaylee needed to step away, so I'll jump in. So we wanted to share, actually, Nikaylee has been working on this, but I believe we have 3 identified students who have been approved for Student Senate. We do also have a 4th member who was in the process of, she was actually a student advisory board member. So we're working with her to, she's essentially accepted the Student Senate seat. And so we'll be moving forward with that. So we will be having a training for the new student senators this upcoming Friday, the 20th. In the afternoon, we're going to aim for in-person, but most likely going to be virtual. We'll share that meeting information with all of you. If you'd like to attend, I think that would be great. Brush up on some, Senate training materials, and then it would be great to also hear from, a couple of you in case the new student senators have any questions.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what Talaya was saying for the 4 new ones, we're gonna try to do in person, and so I think it would be great too if you guys came in person, probably around the same time that your meetings normally are, so that way you could even try to catch them up on the project, the things you've done, kind of show them how a meeting goes without it being an actual meeting. You can just show them examples, because I think that'll be helpful with their training as well. And then I'm gonna reach out to them too, to confirm that they have gotten in and that you'll start seeing their names on the meeting invites going forward. Yeah, David.
Do we happen to know which campus those 4 new centers are going to be in, or do we not know yet?
We're waiting to hear back from one on which one, but right now we have a new one for West, one for downtown, and one for Pima Online.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll definitely have some designated time to introduce all of the new senators to you, and then vice versa. So we're not just going to be throwing them into a meeting. We'll have some meet and greet time for you all.
I was just wondering if, because we won't have a senator to represent East Campus, if in that scenario, are we having senators also go to East Campus during certain events to table to continue a presence there and continue promoting it? is that something that we should be doing? Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely our goal. Because some of the resource fairs, for example, were like same days, it's hard to like assess when to get people there. But there's definitely events coming up that we'll try to shoot and ask one or two of you to go to East Campus to represent it there, you know. And then also, anytime you guys are tabling now, you can promote Student Senate that and be talking about how elections for the new year will come up probably around May. Or in August. I don't know if Talay and I have decided when we're going to have it, but you know, spread the word about it and the opportunities.
All right, thank you guys. I'll get started with the old business section. The first thing is the Senate project proposal review, and I believe this link leads to the actual proper proposal if you guys want to read it. I think Kate earlier covered the majority of this, that the original place that we were planning on collaborating with isn't responding. So she's going to move forward with delegating research to move forward with the project. Did anyone have anything to say about that, or yes, Delia?
Thank you, Rachel. And thank you, Kate, so much for sharing the update. I wanted to make sure that the rest of the Senate heard more about that. And then I wanted to share that in the May Board of Governors meeting, you know, each meeting they have a mission moment in the beginning of the meeting. And so the May mission moment has been designated to Student Senate to share about the Senate project. So May 13th you can be thinking of that as kind of like your not like due date for Senate project, but that is something to be working towards, knowing that you will be presenting and sharing out at that May meeting. And I just scheduled a meeting with me, Kate, and Rachel. No, me, Kate, and Gailey Monday. So we'll talk more and share updates back to you all. And then, Rachel, if it's okay for me to move on to the next bullet point, the rodeo. Cool. So, as mentioned before, you all have been invited to participate in the Tucson, the Pima Rodeo Parade float. So, you know, the Chancellor and his wife will be participating, as well as several administration, and they'd love to see a strong student presence. Now, it seems like most of you, if not all of you, are interested in participating. So, there's a link here that takes you to a Google form to just fill out your information, what area of the parade float you are interested in, and then also if you are available to help like build and decorate the float. Now, I will open it. Well, actually, I'm going to ask a direct question to David. I hear there is a horse in the mix. So this is a new one for me. I don't know if you would be able to participate like in the Pima like float with your horse. I've also never participated in the rodeo parade, so it's like all learning experience for me as well. So I just wanted to open that up real quick.
Yeah, it was just an idea. It was more like, should I go like individually, not part of Student Senate, like on a horse, or should I go Student Senate? Or I guess the third option was to do both. So I'm still deciding what my options are, but more than likely it's gonna remain separate.
Okay, so for that, I don't know if there's anything like a liability form that you need to complete, like if you are going to be part of like the Pima float. So I'll get us on an email thread with Josie, the admin coordinator, who's kind of organizing the Pima float. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Um, Okay, awesome. That is Pima Rodeo Parade. But can I get a quick pulse, like, of people who are, like, for sure interested? And I know, Rachel, you emailed me about being excused from class. I'm just going to check in with JP and Valerie, but that is pretty likely. Because it's, like, it's a pretty big event for Pima, so. Yeah, David.
I just have a quick question. What exactly are we going to be doing over there? We're saying we're going to be decorating something. Are we going to be decorating some sort of carriage, some wagon? Are we going to be like riding it, or like how's it's going to go? I just want to get an idea of what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So that participation form has all of the information, but the gist of it is that they're going to have like a parade float and a wagon. So there's a few dates where they're going to be like decorating and putting together the wagon. So a couple different days where they're going to be doing that. And then at the actual rodeo parade, everyone will arrive there. So people will be riding in/on the wagon and then walking alongside it. So, they're prioritizing people who, maybe can't walk for like a certain length, for them to have a seat on the wagon, and then everyone else will be walking along and just kind of being in the parade. And then the attire, they entered the Pima parade float under Authentic Mexican. So it says, please dress in your cowboy and Mexican attire. Cowboy boots, hats, dresses are all appropriate and encouraged.
Okay, thank you, Talea. Is it okay if I move on with the rest of the section? Yeah, okay. Okay, and then there's the Treasury proposal status.
So I added this to the agenda because I know you all had discussed adding a treasurer position to Student Senate. And then the directive from Student Affairs Leadership was that to move forward in the process of amending the bylaws and constitution, they would like to see a proposal. So basically a write-up of what exactly you would want this treasury position to function as, what the goal of this is, and what parts of the constitution and bylaws might need to be amended, essentially. So basically just like a document where you have the treasury position defined and how it would function with the other roles, and what their job and the goal of that position would be. And then they could speak more to like what the treasurer could feasibly engage with, like the budget wise, because as mentioned, the student activity fund and budget is managed under the student affair department, which Student Senate falls under, but there's like bracketing that kind of divvies it up. So they wanted to see like what exactly you would be interested in seeing the treasury be involved in, whether that was student club activities, the student activity fee that is enrolled into the tuition, student life center, budget allocation, such, so things like that. Yeah, Student Senate budget, Student Senate project budgeting, those are some ideas. So if you all wanted to move forward with that, I just wanted to like put that back on your radar.
Okay, thank you for the update. I was going to ask Kate and David if you guys would be willing to write that, because I know you have the most knowledge regarding what you actually want the treasurer position to be. I also did want to ask, once that proposal is written, do we have to vote on that proposal again, or did we already complete the motion for that?
I think you should vote on the proposal, the written up proposal again, to make sure you all understand it and all agree towards it. You know, one of you might disagree and say, well, I think this should be it, or is this how it should work, things like that. And just remember that the budget, you know, the treasurer position, it could be a part of the student affairs discussions that they have with that budget over the umbrella. But like Student Senate has its own budget and money to go towards things and use towards the project, things like that. So it's like, do you want the treasurer to just be in charge of that pot and maybe like meet with the student affairs leadership to discuss other stuff, you know, things like that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So we'll get that proposal written, and then once it's finished, we can vote again on if we would like to add a treasurer position. I don't think you guys seem to be given a deadline for that, but just like keep updating us on the progress you're making on writing the proposal. Okay, so next, the PCC marketing request for Pima commercial. I think everyone should have gotten an email for that. They were requesting student senators to participate in filming for the Pima commercial. Did anyone have any questions or anything about that? Yeah, I think everyone got the email for that. The revised academic integrity code was posted, so if you guys want to review that, you can. And if you have questions, you can email the academic integrity email. Does anyone have any questions about anything that were in old business? Or are we good to move on? Okay, so for new business, we were invited to the faculty senate meetings. They have them monthly on the first Friday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. That does cut into our meeting time, but I believe we can participate in the first hour if we choose to do so. And then I know David did want to propose his raffle survey. So once he does that, we can vote on if we would like to include that. So David, I'll let you present that.
Yeah, so I shared the survey with the other student senators. I think we all agree with the content side of it. This was an idea that I discussed with Nikaylee and I believe Sandra as well. So the idea is we're going to send out like a mass email of the survey to like all the students, and then to incentivize them to actually fill it out, there would be a raffle. So I believe that there was we're going to do I think Barnes & Noble gift card, since we already have some of those. So for example, if someone were to fill it out, they have a chance amongst the rest of the students to win a gift card. So I think this way we could collect data from the students much better. We'll be able to see what they think about what's going on the campus. What can we change? What can we do for them? Yes, someone raise their hand. No?
Sorry, you can finish your thought. I didn't mean to click it.
Oh, okay. So would you guys like? I'm not sure if we have enough time to review it right now, but I could share it. I could paste the link to it in the new business. And would we vote today or next week, or yes?
Yeah, if you guys vote that you want to do that, it still has to go to the dean of students to approve, and she will send it out through like the constant contact. You know, so if you like next week or the next meeting is when you could say, we voted on this, we want to do this, here it is, we send it, you know, and she'll go over it.
Okay, so we should vote on it next week then?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll make sure she gets invited to the next meeting.
And I'll share the link to the survey in the document. I don't think I've shared it to Taylor or Nikaylee yet, but you guys could check it out too. And there you go. Yes.
And my last question was, you mentioned like a raffle, an incentive for students, and the Barnes and Noble's um, gift cards. So I will say with Pima like spending, gift cards, gift certificates, any of that like kind of thing tends to be more difficult to purchase on our end. So maybe I would encourage you to brainstorm a few alternative ideas. Something that is more plausible is like a bookstore item, or like a set of bookstore items or student life swag that can like be put together. I know our bookstore does collaborate with Barnes and Noble, so like maybe there's something that's like um, like not necessarily like Pima swag, but it's just like a nice like item to have. Because like legally the college sees like the gift cards as like just giving away free money, so it has to be like an actual item, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm open to any ideas, whether it's some Pima swag or any other like object. It doesn't have to be a gift card. That was just an idea that's floating around right now. But yes.
I will say that across campuses, I've been seeing a lot of like Pima merch, like the sweatshirts, the t-shirts. So perhaps one of the more popular sweatshirts or t-shirts might be something to consider, because I know the students are like, they're going really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a Pima sweater, some shirt, some sort of maybe a hat, some sort of merchandise would be pretty cool to give out too. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. We can talk again about that next meeting. So now I'll move on to announcements and reminders. We're going to be having our spring town hall on April 16th at the downtown campus from 4 to 5:30 p.m. And then there's also highly encouraged events for us to attend, which is the Desert Vista Spring Festival on the 21st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Then the Black History Month Elevate and Empower event, that will be on the 24th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then the Power Conference will be on the 27th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the second two events will be at West, and the first one will be at Desert Vista. And then we also have a list of volunteer opportunities available for us. I believe these count towards our Student Senate hours. So if you guys want to look through these and find anything that fits for your schedule, these are all available to us as things to count towards our hours as senators. Otherwise, the agenda is over. Does anyone have any questions or comments or anything to add? Yes, Talia?
Yeah, thank you so much, Rachel. I plugged in a whole bunch of those volunteer opportunities just because I know that, you all have talked a lot about gaining visibility and just getting out there as student senators. And there's like so much that happens, and I know a lot of emails that get sent your way. So I just plugged in all of those there. And anytime that you're interested in participating in something as a student senator, just please make sure that you are letting Nikeli and me know. And then of course, anything that is like politically involved, maintaining nonpartisanship, and that you are representative of Pima Community College, but that does come with boundaries. So any political advocacy that you are engaging in, as an independent student citizen is awesome. That is where your student senator role, is restricted. So, if you're out there lobbying and advocating and getting petitions signed, just remember that is as an individual out and about in the world and not as a student senator. But I just wanted to add that. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Talia. Hector, did you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Kate. Kate, if you want me to, I can easily go and stop by any of those places that you've been reaching out for the Senate project. You let me know if you need any help. I can go knock on their doors a few times or a few people. It's always ideal to have more than one option.
Thank you, Hector. Yeah, I think after I meet with Talia and Nikaylee, we're gonna nail down some more um, concrete steps and things to delegate, but I will definitely take you up on that. I know that we'll probably be meeting with whoever we end up partnering with quite a lot, so I will definitely let you guys know so you can be included in those meetings because this is Senate as a whole, not just, the Talia, Nikaylee, and Kate show. So.
Okay, thank you guys. If there isn't any further questions or comments, I'm going to motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second that motion.
Okay, I don't think I need another vote, right? Just to confirm, because last time I ended it without checking. Just want to make sure. Okay. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys all have a great day.
See you guys in a few minutes.
Thank you. Bye.